All right, gang, welcome back to Procreate. So I thought for the last lesson in this course, we would take you through the entire workflow, start to finish, to do a t-shirt design for the back of a t-shirt that I'm working on for my business. So I've got my own custom t-shirt machine. We can do designs up to 24 inches tall by 16 to 18 inches wide, give or take. But what we're going to do here is we're going to create a canvas that's pretty close to that. So let's go ahead and bring in a custom canvas. Let's make the width. Make sure you are in inches if you're going to do this t-shirt in the same size. And we're going to go ahead and go 16. Let's go ahead and make some margin here. We'll make it 15 by 23. So 15 wide, 23 high. Now DPI, we want 300 dots per inch. For your design, notice I can only get 13 layers. That means I'm going to have to work in a way destructively, and I'm going to have to work very smart because Procreate is saying at that dimension, at that DPI, you get 13 layers, my friend. That is it. And let's go ahead and make the color profile CMYK. All right, let's create it out. All right, that looks pretty good. So we only have 13 layers. Let's get it popping. So we're going to come in here, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add, and in your downloads for this lesson, I've included a photo. So for some reason, I've got to go out and come back. You usually don't have to do this. Mine just decided that it wants to be difficult. And it's this rough elephant right here. So this is the original design. Now, in my workflow, I tend to work very light to begin with, and then I tend to get more and more opaque, let's say, as time goes on. So this is what I'll put down at the base here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this thing kind of shrink up. Leave myself a little bit of room here. All right. Let's go ahead and start there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rename this background. Okay. And we're going to keep using this one time and time again. So the first thing that I like to do is I'm really inspired by like Dave Trevenall. So one of the things I really like to do is I like to warp my image first. In order to do this, with the background selected, I come through and I begin to transform. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start warping. Now the way that I want to do this, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. All right, back to my transform, back to my warp. Let's go ahead and turn on the advanced mesh. Yep, and now I'm going to push this out. Okay, you see how I'm kind of elongating the elephant to make it match? Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this end in, and I'm going to go ahead and compress this side. That kind of gives it that look that what's on this side is further away. And we're going to go ahead and say close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. All right, now let's go ahead and move this thing over. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a layer to the selection, I should say, or an adjustment. So watch how this works. I come over to selection, I come to freehand. Now, if I'm working in graffiti, I always like this eye to be pretty large, right? So I'm going to select that. Then I'm going to come over to adjustment and I'm going to liquefy. Now watch this. We're now going to expand. There we go. And I really like that. I think that that's kind of cool. Now let's come down here again and let's go ahead and grab this filter. Freehand. Grab just that filter. Come over to adjustment, liquefy, again expand, and now let's go ahead and shift that just a little bit. Okay, and now what I want to do, I want to come in one more time, so let's go ahead and kill that selection, and I'm going to grab this tusk, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to come over to liquefy, and I'm going to expand that tusk as well there. Then I'm going to come up and I'm going to move it into more of a position the way that I like it. So I think that that's actually pretty darn good. All right, good deal. So in my process now, we've got our image pretty much ready to go. We've expanded out this eye, and in reality, I'm going to take it one step further. Now, if you're barely hanging on here and you don't want to do this, you don't have to. Make sure we're on the right layer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crank that eye up one more time. And let's go ahead and expand it out. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and call it on this one. In the next one, we're going to go ahead and actually do the inking on this thing. So I tend to start with inking. So let's go ahead and stop this one here. And in the next one, we're going to ink this thing out using the lining brush that we made earlier in the course. All right, we'll see you in the next one.